You're now tuned in to the Two Dudes, One Ball Fantasy Football Podcast.
And welcome in, listeners, to another episode of Two Dudes, One Ball Fantasy Football Podcast. Joined with me today, Ryan Green, our newly found member here of Two Dudes, One Ball, who will be here a lot more. He'll tell you about himself real quick. Is Tommy Rachetti. Tom, go ahead. Introduce yourself for people.
How's it going, guys? My name's Tom, college baseball player, big Bears fan. Just excited to get into this, break down some fantasy football.
Yes, sir. Tommy has been a part of our fantasy league for 3 or 4 years now. He's been an ongoing member, huge passionate fan, newly Bear fan. So we're going to open him up or treat him with open arms here. And he's going to be part of our new team, a new member here. And obviously I'm the host, Michael Eck here, as always, the beloved Baltimore Raven fan. Guys, it's been a while. We took a little hiatus, me and Ryan, because we had to do stuff where we had to add Tommy, and we do have a fourth member who currently isn't here at the moment right now. Apologize for the black stuff you see on the screen with the us three boxes. There will be a fourth that fills that void, and you'll see him in time. I promise he'll be here. But as a group, us three, and the fourth, we thought it'd be better if me and Ryan, if we added two friends of ours that we're friends with that are in our league to this podcast, because it gives more of an insight for you guys and gives more opinions and helps you guys get a better view and understanding of where other people think and logic behind and reasoning behind players and what their stats show. And maybe if you have questions based, and you can hear 3 or 4 different people's thoughts on what they would do. So that's the process here. Why we brought more people on, it's just more insight. So with that said, how you guys doing? I don't want to keep hogging up all the time, but everybody doing well?
Oh my God, doing perfect.
Living the dream, brother. Living the dream.
Let's go, man. Let's go. We're about 2 days away from the first Hall of Fame game. Steelers will play the Cowboys preseason, and we're about 4 weeks away, roughly, right? 4 or 5 weeks away from the regular season, September 9th, about 4.5. So we're almost there, fellas. And with that, I don't want to, keep this dragging on. So we're going to hop right into our next segment, which is segment's going to stay the same. This is, what we do, me and Ryan do. It's going to be our Breaking Balls, where you guys know it's where we talk about news and what's going on around the league. And honestly, to start off, Watson's at camp. We're going to start with that one. We all know Watson's back, but he's not practicing. This is an injury, is what they're calling it. It's more so because he already made it clear that he does not want to play for the Texans. Right, guys? He doesn't want to play there. So it's kind of like he's waiting to get traded and moved on, and they also want to move forward with Tyrod Taylor. And what do you guys think that team is with Tyrod Taylor? You think they're just obviously they're in shambles, but fantasy-wise, what does that mean?
Dog shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch a single player on that team. I don't see Tyrod Taylor doing much of anything.
Yeah, it hurts Brandon Cooks, obviously. I mean, someone's going to catch balls there. It's most likely going to be Brandon Cooks, but the ceiling's limited on every single player on that team.
Yeah, maybe Philip Lindsay, but I feel like that's a stretch at best.
Even their running back core, or the running back room, is David Johnson, Mark Ingram, Philip Lindsay, Rex Burkhead, I believe. So that's just a monster as well, besides the quarterback position that's going on. Well, we all know that's going to be rough. Our next set of news, we got Kenny Galladay, the New York Giants, newly found paid wide receiver, big superstar guy. There was a video of him yesterday at practice grabbing his hamstring at the end of a play before the dog pile. It is known that it's not going to be serious. He's not going to miss a lot of time, but it's just something to monitor, and I honestly think this is something we should talk about because of, one, the contract he got, the kind of player he is, stardom around him, and hamstrings. I wouldn't take this lightly. It was something that kept him out of, week 3 and 4 last year, and then the hip came along. So it's something I think for me, guys, I'm watching this. I'm going to monitorize this throughout the rest of camp, because if it gets worse, it's only going to hurt him in the end and the Giants, and you can look elsewhere for the receptions and targets.
Yeah, obviously as the Giants fan of the bunch, It sucks seeing him go down, obviously, especially this early in camp. But at least it's not when the season started, he's dealing with this. So rest him for the next couple weeks. It hurts the chemistry between him and Daniel Jones, but let him heal up and get back out there for the start of the season. And I'm not going to completely fade him yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, Tom.
No, I agree with him.
All right. Next, the wide receiver, same division, Devontae Smith, knee sprain, gonna miss time. He's gonna miss time. As a rookie getting into camp, he needs these reps. He's gonna need the preseason games. He's not gonna. It's all gonna be delayed. So, I'm already kind of like more on the outside, like favoring him already. And then this happened. I'm steering more away from him. I just think this is going to allow Jalen Hurts more time to build their chemistry with, Zach Ertz again, Dallas Goedert still, Jalen Reagor. So these are bad signs for Devontae Smith, guys, and where that's going.
Yeah, Smith is a guy who, when he got drafted, everyone was questioning, can he stay healthy because of his build, and obviously this wasn't a contact injury, non-contact with his knee, but knee injuries, that's usually something that you steer away from, especially when you're a wide receiver.
Yeah, definitely sucks. Just keep an eye on his updates next couple weeks.
All right, next is the big two. And that is they have the same injury from the Indianapolis Colts, Carson Wentz and Quentin Nelson, the offensive lineman. Usually we don't cover offensive linemen as much, but we have to here because of the impact on the whole team, because he is the best, probably one of the best, if not the best, offensive lineman in the game. They both have a foot fracture. Bone in their foot needs repairing. Surgery is about 5 to 12 weeks, is what their head coach Frank Reich has said. This is big news for Jonathan Taylor fans. I'm since the start of this offseason, I've been down on Jonathan Taylor, and I came up a little bit when I started coming into reality with them getting other O-lineman members back and signing O-line members. But now with Nelson gone and Wentz gone, and that team looks like Jacob Eason's probably going to be the starter, and you lose your centerpiece on not the center, but the guy your offense line is built around. It's going to hurt Jonathan Taylor, so that's not good.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor's been creeping up to the middle of the first round in drafts. Obviously, this definitely hurts his stock. I don't think hurts it too much. So the offense is going to have to go through him. So again, volume kind of wins out in every way. The only thing I'd be worried about with this situation is the usage behind him in the running back room as far as Nyheim Hines and Marlon Mack's coming back healthy. I know he's coming off the Achilles, so I'm not expecting much, but I think he's still worthy of like a back of the first round type of pick because he's going to be carrying the load for that team, and just that in itself is valuable.
Yeah, one thing you do have to look at is his touchdowns. He was probably slated to score a lot of touchdowns, and without Wentz on that offense, like how good are they going to be? How are they going to move the ball? Those are just questions I would ask myself when going to pick them.
Yeah, everything. I agree with everything. You guys got anything else? That's all I really want to touch on. There's a big news that obviously there's going to be more every day, but those are the biggest things I took away from the day.
Yeah, 100%. I think maybe just a quick, if you want to just throw out there, the Cam Akers and all that, the old stuff that we missed on our hiatus here.
Yeah, and if you want to touch on pub players, I know you players that are going on pup, you always told, you've been telling, tweeting, don't let that scare you. They can go on pup and then come activate anytime in the off season. It's usually when they're on the pup going into the season what you're a little nervous about, but just keep an eye on that. Like you said, Ryan said, Cam Akers did go down, so out for the year with Achilles. Helps Henderson or could help a 3-down back, which a committee, we'll just have to see. Definitely helps the passing game, though, for Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. Michael Thomas waited this long, 6 months to get foot surgery. God only knows why. So now he's out. Kamara's like the only offense there. And honestly, I just want to touch on this real quick because of no Michael Thomas. I think this team is going to go – this might favor Taysom Hill getting the starting job more because now I think that team's going to go more to a running attack and not, we can pass the ball, Winston coming in. I was a firm believer Winston was getting the job. I thought he was going to be able to win it because he would be able to look good throwing the ball to Michael Thomas. No Michael Thomas there. Taysom Hill's going to look better scrambling, running, making plays at his feet, which helps Kamara, which helps the tight end Adam Troutman, who made a few, he wasn't used as much last year, but he's more of a run blocker, and now he's developing his passing game. So I think those kind of strides are going to be helpful because of no Michael Thomas. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. we're gonna go to our next segment, which is our team breakdown here, and that's what the main episode is for today. The team breakdown. We're doing the Dallas Cowboys, and we're gonna touch on Zeke. Hollowed a little bit there because of what's going on with Mike McCarthy and his coaching talk. Michael Gallup, obviously, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb, the three big guys you want to hear about. Obviously, Dak, what's going on with him? He's back. Welcome back, Dak. And maybe coaching an O-line and our outlook on all these players. So, with no further ado, you guys want to start with the running back room because it's mainly Zeke here. It's not like these two. It's not like a Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb scenario where you got two great guys. You got a good backup, but then you have obviously the workhorse bell cow for the last 5 years.
Yeah, Zeke. I think we should let Tommy take this one away. I know Zeke's your guy.
Yeah, I'll start here. I mean, I think I've had Zeke in our league probably the last 4 years. Me and Mike were just checking before, and I've had him the last 4 years. Probably going to take him again this year. But last year I think it was a fluke because you got Dak getting hurt, that slows the offense down. You got Ben DiNucci as the quarterback, and then you got the whole offensive line getting hurt. So that doesn't look too good for him. And then you had a lot of negative game scripts because that team was just not too good. So, but one thing you just got to remember is he was the RB3 in all fantasy when Dak was healthy and the offensive line was healthy. So he was still producing, and he was still a top 10 running back. He was a running back 9 at the end of the year when all was said and done. So he did produce, and I just think that whatever happened last year, have to come into this year with a clean slate on Zeke.
Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that too. I'm glad Tommy brought that up. Everybody's backing on Zeke because what you saw weeks 6, 7 on with Ben DiNucci, Andy Dalton, everybody's Zeke. He finished as running back 9, and it wasn't because he had a strong start. It's because his ceiling was capped with those guys because of how bad the offense was, but he still got the job done. But with Dak there and the ball thrown, the offense moving, he was the running back 3. He went off the first 5 weeks, averaged 25 points a game. He was the guy you wanted. The only two people above him, Cook and McCaffrey. And McCaffrey had 2 33-point weeks in PPR. Cook had a 35 and then a 28, so he barely beat him. Zeke was literally the guy you wanted, and last year he was going in the first 3 picks, and it worked out. This year, he's sliding back to 7, 8. Some people were even taking him at 6, 7, 8. That's where he's back, and people were writing him off a little bit. And I don't think that's fair to really him. The age comes into question here for people saying Zeke, he's getting up and older, fifth or sixth year in the league. He hasn't really dealt with a serious injury. His O-line's getting old. I chalked it up. He's as injury prone as anybody else in the league. An injury can happen to anybody at any point in time. It's not what you should base your rankings off of and your gut instinct off of. You got to go with pure talent of Zeke, the pass catching ability of Zeke, the offense relies on him and Dak to move the ball. And it's the defense plays a role in how bad they are. They're going to need to score points, and Zeke's going to get the ball in his hands in the passing game or in the run game, and he will be efficient for your team. I was set in stone, and I thought I was getting Zeke this year in our draft, and Tommy again leapfrogs me, who I think is looking for Zeke here. Regardless, I don't think I'm getting him where I'm at. If Tom gets him, that'll be year 5, I think, or 4 in a row, like we said. It's kind of crazy. My man lives or dies by Zeke, but rightfully so. I mean, this year, though, people are writing him off a little more, and I think they should put respect on his name. Ryan, what do you got to say?
No, dude, I like Zeke. I think obviously Zeke's always been the upper echelon kind of running back. He gets all the work. He's on a prolific offense. It's just, again, the age concerns. He was, he looked like he was slowing down even to the back half of the 2019 season. Obviously, last year he started off on fire. The whole offense started off on fire. I mean, Dak was on pace for a ridiculous amount of yards. So that little stretch, it's a small sample size. That could also be an outlier as far as his, saying that his bad part of the season was an outlier. I understand the injuries, but his offensive line's been dealing with injuries the last couple of years. They're super old. I don't know. I think that, he's going to be a great guy, but as most of these picks are in fantasy, there's some risk built into him.
And to play devil's advocate real quick, he did deal with the most fumbles I think he's had dating all the way back to his college days too. last year. Last year he struggled with fumbles. This kind of came out of nowhere, and I know Zeke, based off reports from beat writers, based off reports from insider training camps with him and his private trainer in the offseason before OTAs really opened up, he's been working a lot this offseason on ball control and keeping that ball in his hands and not fumbling as much. You watch this guy, there's players that fumble and they go back to the sideline. They just like, how did I do that? Zeke beats himself up over it because he doesn't do this. So he knows he's a better player than that. He's not going to let it bother him. He's not going to let it affect him. He's going to get better at it. It won't happen as much this year. So I'm all in on Zeke in 2021.
Just one more thing I want to say. So PFF, they do their offensive line grades. They have the Cowboys line if they can stay fully healthy and if they return to what they were. They were ranked at number 6, and that was before Quentin Nelson got hurt. So there's a chance they could slide up to 5 in the top 5. But I don't know. That's a big question mark. And another question mark that ended last season was the center position. When Travis Frederick retired, I think the guys that they filled the void with at center, they were like bottom 5 in the league and in their grades and pass and run blocking. So those are just 2 things on the offensive line that are just that's really gonna I think dictate how Zeke's season goes.
Yeah, their center last year, I think he started like 13 games, was actually Joe Looney, who the Giants had signed, and he just retired today at the time of recording this. So yeah, he was not that great. Obviously, we signed him as a backup on the Giants, and our O-line's not great, so does play a role.
Yeah, and then one more thing about to go negative, counteract of our positive talk, because it seems like kind of we're all on Zeke, we all kind of like him, is Tony Pollard. Mike McCarthy did say they want to use Pollard a little bit more in the run game, so this kind of might be steering people away, but I wouldn't be thinking, Tony Pollard's going to take the touches away. Tony Pollard's just going to be a change of pace back, give Zeke time to get healthy, get his legs fresh again, and come back into the league, because they obviously know the obvious. He's getting older. He's not going to be able to handle 25, 30 carries a game anymore. He's not built for that. He's not a Derrick Henry. He's not built like that. He's built to get 20 carries, but let's give a change of pace, a breather in there. Maybe it's like a 3rd and 8, and Zeke's usually in there. Now they'll probably put Pollard in there and just chalk up the down. They'll punt it. You might see stuff like that now because you want to keep Zeke healthy and fresh down the stretch, especially in that division where they can win this year. They can literally win that division. That division's a toss-up almost every year. I think for the last 17 years, different teams won that division, so they want Zeke healthy when the time matters.
Yep, yeah. Pollard, he's probably like the most premium handcuff there is, because if Zeke gets hurt, then he slides right into that automatic RB1
Absolutely
upside role. But a lot of Pollard's opportunities, like he's not going to be taking goal line touches away. He's going to be between the 20s. He's going to give him a couple downs, and then Zeke's right back on the field. I can't imagine anything significant really from Tony Pollard this year, barring a Zeke injury.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, guys. Let's we'll go to the wide receivers now, and I don't know which one you guys want to start with first. So let's start with the big one, the big obvious one, the guy we all know and love, and that's Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper is having an ankle injury, but he has said the last few days that he's near 100%. And once he gets back to 100%, he's going to be locked and loaded, wide receiver 1 for your team. Ever since he got traded from the Raiders 2 years ago to the Cowboys, he's been nothing but great for them. He's been nothing. They everything they asked for, they got. He's this guy they can rely on. Dak's number 1 target. Let's see, where did he finish last year? Cooper finished 15th last year. 14.8 points per game in PPR-wise. He played every game, which is incredible. He had a 1,000-yard season, just 5 touchdowns. But I think the touchdown problem came because no Dak. Dak's back. If he stays healthy, the touchdown comes up. If he has a 1,000-yard season, which he easily could do, he's up in the top 12 again. I think, in my opinion, I like him a lot this year. I'm in on Cooper. As long as he stays healthy and gets healthy before the season starts, there's no question. There's no real reason why he can't do another 1,200-yard season, maybe 8 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns, and be that stud wide receiver 1 you can get in like the 4th round, 3rd or 4th round. That's, he's going, I think, mid-3rd round. So it could be an absolute steal and someone you should monitor in your drafts. Start, as you guys prepare for your drafts and start looking into that, don't let Amari Cooper go. He's definitely someone you can rely on. What do you guys think? Like, am I crazy?
I think you're slightly crazy. CeeDee Lamb's an emerging superstar, and he's just going to take targets away from Amari Cooper. Go Go ahead.
That's all well and good, but you said it when we were talking about Zeke, how great Dak looked when he played. Yeah, it was a small sample size, averaged 400 yards a game pretty much. He was easily going to win the MVP on the pace he was on. There's enough to go around for him and Cooper to each have 1,200 yards this year. No question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, if you look at their targets last year, I mean, and they did not have the best quarterbacks thrown to them throughout the entire season, but Cooper had 130 targets, CeeDee Lamb had 111 targets, so like they can coexist together, and I think that's at the cost of the other receiver, Michael Gallup. I don't think everyone kind of thought last year like Michael Gallup, he's going to step up this year, like kind of make or think that CeeDee Lamb would sit off and play the role that Michael Gallup ended up playing last year, but I think these two can coexist together in one offense and probably both be 1,200-yard receivers together, and then you probably watch Michael Gallup just slide on down to the bottom.
Yeah, Gallup's definitely not going to be anything consistent. The only thing is, like, they made this whole offseason, every single pick in their draft was defense. You know, they made slight improvements. Obviously, it's still not great, but for them to be both getting, 1,200 plus yards, I know there's an additional game in there, but I guess really what I'm saying is, just the presence of CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, knowing that he's always banged up, dealing with some sort of injury, just kind of like, I don't know, if I could choose to wait and grab Lamb maybe a round or two later, I think I would pivot to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Fair enough. Great points. I'm on Tommy's side here more than Ryan. I think I would actually back that up. I think either round you get him, if you have the spot to get him, I think it doesn't harm you either way, because I think if you wait a little bit to get Lamb, I don't think you're going to get the upside you can get with a Cooper, because I feel like Cooper has that little bit more veteran mentality. He's a vet, someone that Dak can trust. He only played with CeeDee Lamb last year for 4 games. So, yeah, that trust factor isn't completely there yet. It's just going to take a little more time and chemistry to get to the point where he's already at with Cooper is like my thing. And I completely agree with Michael Gallup eventually going to be weeded out of this offense. Slowly but surely he's selling. If you're in a really deep league and you want to put in a flex in a good matchup, go for it. He'll probably get you 10, 12 points. Don't expect him to be that smash CeeDee Lamb 20 points or Amari Cooper 20 points that potentially could happen each week because of how much that team's probably going to need to throw the ball.
Yeah, I do think that Amari Cooper, if you are on the fence about him, like Ryan, like in the 4th round, 3rd round, him going into the season with this injury, I mean, he's not 100% yet. I mean, it could nag him throughout the year. So if that kind of helps tilt you off him, then I understand that. But if he's fully healthy and you project that offense to be high scoring and good, then I don't see why shy away from Amari Cooper in the 3rd or 4th round.
Well,
yeah, look. Real quick, Mike, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was saying while we're talking, but go ahead.
I was just looking at, ADP, and he's sandwiched right now on sleeper in between Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So, and CeeDee Lamb's a little behind him. So I guess if I'm looking at those two and Amari, I think I would take Amari. I'm not completely off Amari whatsoever. I just think, maybe rather target some sort of guy who doesn't have another dominant receiver in the same room as him.
I mean, I completely agree. I think if that's the scenario, you're on the clock 3.4. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, or Amari Cooper to choose from. I'll probably take Cooper there every day. Just because of how good Chris Godwin is already, and CeeDee Lamb will eventually get to that level. So then if CeeDee Lamb has been in the league for 3 years as well, this decision would be equivalent. It's like, who do you go with, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, or CeeDee Lamb? They're all the same freaking player. You really can't go wrong with either one. It's just take your shot, whatever your gut tells you. But because CeeDee Lamb, I don't think is at that level yet of Chris Godwin and Mike, like CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are not the same level as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin yet. So that's why I think it hurts Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the sense where I would take Amari Cooper given that, what you just said, Ryan. But I was going to say, as we're talking here about Amari Cooper, let's throw up and let's start talking about, not throw up literally, but let's throw up CeeDee Lamb here and start discussing our thoughts on CeeDee Lamb. Second-year emerging wide receiver we talked about. Spent most of his time last year playing with Ben DiNucci and Andy Dalton. Small sample size with Dak Prescott. But this kid's by far, I mean, year one breakout, he's just going to improve from here. He's just going to get better. Probably the second best wide receiver last year, the rookie class, behind Justin Jefferson. No question there, right?
Yep.
I mean, I don't have anything negative really to say about CeeDee Lamb. I think the game script's just going to help him. I think he's going to weed out Michael Gallup, like I said. He's going to get 1,000 yards this year. He's going to get touchdowns. I think they're going to use him more, though, as a deep threat in a way compared to Amari Cooper, where Cooper can be on the slant. This is why I have Amari Cooper higher than CeeDee Lamb, or I expect. This is why I'm not scared of Amari Cooper or not trusting him. Because of CeeDee Lamb, I think CeeDee Lamb will still be doing some of the rookie things he does, but be more involved than, let's say, Gallup or even the tight ends that are there or the fourth string guys. He's easily the number 2 on this team. And if early on, if they're passing the ball and Dak's averaging 400 yards per game, there's no question why either one of them can be your wide receiver 1 on your team.
Yeah, I don't think that Amari's going to be running more slants. I mean, CD's that inside slot receiver. I think they'll both be running, shorter intermediate routes, and that's what Gallup's for, to stretch the field kind of thing. That's why he'll get left out, which is what they did last year as well. Gallup was just running fly routes and not getting targeted. But yeah, I love CeeDee Lamb, man. The hype at training camp is real. He's mossing people. He's making diving catches.
So. Every day there's another Twitter video I see of a beat reporter or someone, just a fan, videotapes it, and he's crisp on his routes in the corner end zone, just one hand snag, 2 feet down, or mossing somebody. He looks phenomenal, and I can't wait to watch him this year. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, I'm all in on this Cowboys offense here. If I could have every one of these guys, I would 100% grab them all, but probably not going to happen. Physically can't happen. But yeah, I don't see that much regression with CeeDee Lamb, so I'm in on him wherever you get him. Where'd you say he was, Ryan? ADP wise?
I think it's the back of the 4th. Excuse me.
I thought it was 47. Yeah, so I think that's what I saw. So
that might be a little too high for me. Back of the 4th, that might be a little too high. Probably take him middle of the 5th.
I got a question for both of you guys.
Yeah, all right. I got
Mike,
a question
if
for
you want to look up his ADP real quick while I ask this. But if you were sitting there in the 4th round, say it is the 4th round, it might be the 5th, but say it's the 4th round, and you're looking at DJ Moore and CeeDee Lamb, who are you guys taking?
CeeDee Lamb.
Mike?
I'm gonna go DJ Moore only because he is the 1 and not the 2 on the team, and I like Darnold. I know there's not many of us out there. I am a Darnold truther. I think this is a new chance for him to get out of the shitty Adam Gase. I've seen quarterbacks go from Adam Gase and become Ryan Tannehill. Boom.
That's true.
I can see Sam Darnold doing the same jump under Matt Rule. I think this could help. DJ Moore, his problem the last few years is touchdowns, and I think Sam Darnold helps DJ Moore overcome that and get touchdowns. He's easily a 1,000-yard receiver every year. Since he's been in the league, he's overly talented, and he is the 1 compared to CeeDee Lamb. So, I'm trying to figure out. It pulled up his CeeDee Lamb. It pulled up his 2020 stats for me, and I don't want that. I don't really care for that. I'm trying to find his ADP.
I would pound Lamb, by the way, over DJ Moore.
I
know you like Darnold. I like Dak more, obviously.
I think Dak's just a little bit better than Sam Darnold. So
absolutely. I mean, there's no question about that. I just think that it's Darnold.
Yeah, but that's why I would take him.
Over Lamb.
if you got to split the hair, I think you just go with better quarterback there.
All right. Yeah, fair enough.
Better offense.
CeeDee Lamb is 49th on Sleeper PPR league, 49th. So that's literally the end of the 4th, early 5th.
Back of the 4th.
At the beginning of the 5th. Yeah. So if I'm there, all right. Let's say you're drafting. A question for both of you. You're drafting. You got Zeke on your team. Do you purposely not look to get Amari Cooper? Tom, you already said you're all in on the offense, so I think if you can have a chance to get Amari Cooper, you would take him, or a CeeDee Lamb. Is it one of the two, or do you go all in? Obviously, I think it's a bad idea if you go all in on all 3, but because then you're limiting your ceiling. But you made it clear you're all in on this offense. If you're a Zeke owner, either dynasty, and you have a chance to get Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb, or you're in a redraft league and you're in a perfect position to draft Zeke, and then a couple rounds later you can either get Amari Cooper, or a round later you get CeeDee Lamb. Would you do that, or would you look a different way?
Both the receivers, or just one receiver?
Let's just do one.
Let's just do one, because I don't think having both is smart regardless.
Yeah,
so we're
me
skip
either.
that.
But if I had If I had Cooper, or if I had Zeke, I would 100% take. I don't even think I would think about it. If I
Yeah,
had
you
Amari
said
Cooper in like the 4th round, I would do the stack.
Yeah, that's if you don't mind me chiming in right here. I think in Dynasty, I know you touched on it. I don't know if you slipped up by saying that or
no.
whatnot, but in Dynasty, if I have Zeke and I can get Lamb, I'm 1000% taking Lamb because Zeke in a couple of years inevitably is going to fall off. That's just how it is with running backs, and you're going to get so many more years out of Lamb. So even
Yep.
if you do have that stack for 2 more years, 3 more years, eventually Lamb's going to be like your wide receiver one, and you're not going to even have to worry about that stack anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not pivoting off of it at all. And actually, in our league, guys, obviously I have AJ Brown kept in the fifth round, and then at 4, there's a potential that Derrick Henry's looking at me, and I was like pivoting off of stacking that team, but like the closer I get to the season, the more I want to take Derrick Henry and just say fuck it and go with the stack.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I asked is because a lot of people will shy away from the stack because of how much, only one of those two guys can get a touchdown on one play. So you're limiting how much you can get a week-to-week, basis. But if you get a team that has a high-powered offense that can score 4 or 5 touchdowns a week, that gives you better chances than a team that only gets maybe 2 a week. So you have, you could get Amari Cooper who can have 2 and Zeke who have 1, or you can have 2 random guys who they get none that week. And it's just like, okay, so you got to find that right stack. I just want to know your guys' thoughts. I personally, to answer my own question, I would 100% take the stack here. I think the Cowboys team is good enough, the offense is good enough to have a stack. We saw how low it could be last year when their captain, Dak Prescott, got hurt. When he got hurt, the team, Zeke obviously touched on 9th, and Cooper was 15th, and Lamb was 22nd. So you're still going to get some good players out of this, even with a change at quarterback. God forbid that ever happened. So I would go for the stack. I'll take my cheeseburger double stack, please.
Rock on, brother.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm throwing Gallup on here. We can touch on. I know we talked about how he kind of faded. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. He is going to fade out of the offense. CeeDee Lamb is emerging. Lamb, Ryan, you touched. I think you said it best. He's that distraction, that guy who's going to be when he's in on 3 wide receiver sets. He's going to be used as a distraction downfield. He's not going to get as many targets. CeeDee Lamb is now the clear cut 2, or going to be the clear cut 2 eventually. It's, when roster comes to paper, you're going to see CeeDee Lamb etched in at 2. So I'm out on Gallup. He's the only one of these guys I really wouldn't draft or even look towards in the late rounds. However, you're in a really deep league and you have a 3 flex position and you really need a player, he's a guy I go for because it's someone who's still on a high-powered, or I wouldn't say high-powered, but an offense that needs to score and put up a lot of yards because their defense sucks.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys played best ball at all, but I know that if you don't know what it is, for our listeners out there, if you guys, you might not even know. Best ball is pretty much you draft a team and you don't set a lineup. Your highest scoring players every week get set into a lineup, and then whatever. That's really how it works. But Gallup's a guy in those type of formats where I would target maybe in those late rounds for when he does take 60-yard touchdown to the house because he's running those fly routes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as redraft and dynasty, unless he gets moved off the Cowboys and goes into a better role, I don't think he's going to be relevant at all.
Yeah, in your deeper league, your 3 wide receiver league, your more flex spot league, maybe you have Gallup on your bench, maybe you slot him in on a bye week or something. He's got a good matchup, but he's just a boomer bust player. He's not gonna get more than 5 targets probably, and when he does go off, he'll catch 5 balls for 220 yards and a touchdown, and everyone will just scratch their head on how he did that and how he was on your bench. So.
Well said.
I wouldn't start him other than that.
All right. To wrap up the Cowboy offense, we all know the man who leads the attack, and that's Dak Prescott. We've touched on with all the players we covered here: Zeke, Gallup, Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb. Dak Prescott averaged 371 yards per game. Break it down by the stat. In our fantasy league, he averaged 28 points per game. Ridiculous. In 5 games played, he had 1,800 yards. Ridiculous amount. Almost 2,000 yards in 5 games. He had 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, so the rate there was great. He almost had 100 yards on the ground. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, and he actually was scrambling, which got him hurt on where he hurt his leg. with that, I think, if he comes this year, he's rehabbing well. He has a little shoulder stiffness right now in camp, and they said they're monitoring that. They said he's actually regressing, which is not a good sign because of that. But they still have a lot of time. He's not going to play in any preseason games, obviously. He's their future. He is their guy. So he's got plenty of time to rest and get that shoulder healthy for week 1. The foot's ready to go. He's ready to go. The team would be phenomenal. All these guys are affected by him. They're all better because of him. And Dak would easily be a quarterback option for your fantasy team as well. What do you guys like Dak? Where do you guys have him? Quarterback rank. If he's healthy season, he's got to be at least 7th, right? 6th on your quarterback list. 5th, maybe?
Yeah, Dak for me is my quarterback 5.
Quarterback 5.
Yeah, he's my 5 as well.
If he's healthy, he's the X factor. Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be back to his usual self? If he does, then I feel like this guy is the ceiling for this Cowboys offense. All these players could impact the fantasy team, your fantasy team, a lot. And if he's not, then it's not looking good. Sorry, Meek.
No, you're good. I didn't mean to cut you off, but the narrative here, if you guys don't know, the reason why these players are going to be so good, it's not, they all are talented. There's no question. Mark Cooper's awesome at his position. CeeDee Lamb is unbelievable in college and now year 1. Zeke is, feed me. We've all got that meme before. Everybody sent that where he's eating the cereal going crazy. We've all seen it. Dak came out of Mississippi State. He wasn't a big quarterback coming out. He wasn't a high prospect, but he got the job done. They all have talent in their own ways, but the main narrative here is the defense is bad. I keep saying it. They're going to get scored on, so that means they're going to need to do scoring with their offensive weapons, and they're going to do that. They proved that last year in the 4 games. You saw the Falcon game where they came back down, 40 or whatever, 35 or something like that. They were down by a huge shit ton, and they came back and won. They're going to put up points, and that's what this team's meant to do with this offense. So there's no question that Dak shouldn't be able to pick up where he left off last year before his injury. I just hope he has a healthy year. I like the kid. I like his grit. So, Ryan, you're a Giant fan. This is your rival. You probably hate this team more than any team in the league. I know it probably kills you today to even talk about them in a good way, but for fantasy purposes, you kind of have to. You got to be real with the people. So I want to hear your thoughts, everything about this Cowboys offense, Dak Prescott. Tommy, I'm sorry, but you were an Eagle fan, but now you're a Bears fan, so this doesn't have effect on you as much.
Well, it does affect me because I was a huge Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott fan.
Yeah,
and
it didn't pan out very well.
That's not looking so good the longer time goes on. So
yeah, look, I'm a fantasy fan before I'm an NFL fan. Obviously, I love my Giants to death, but that's how much I love fantasy is more than that. So I have no problem talking about these guys. If they fall to a good value for me, I'm going to snag them. If I feel like being a dick on draft night, I might take them at 4 just to jump Tommy so we can't have Zeke for the 5th year. But in all seriousness, as far as Dak goes, and all quarterbacks in his range, really, I do not like investing a high pick in him. If my draft goes absolutely perfect for the first 4 rounds and he's there in the 5th, and I'm like, screw it, why not take a shot on him? Maybe, but still at even that point, if I'm targeting quarterback, I'm going to go for other guys like Kyler Murray, who I think offer a little bit more ceiling. Obviously, I know Dak's ceiling is through the roof, but I don't know. Yeah. Would you guys take him in the 5th round? That's where he's going right now.
If the draft went perfect, yes. But I don't know. I haven't paid up for a quarterback in above the 7th or 8th round in the last few years, so I just don't believe in using a premium pick on a quarterback because you find that value later. So
yeah,
if everything's good with Dak, if he's fully healthy, line's healthy going into the season, and the draft's going good, I would take him in the 5th round, 6th round, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like Tommy. I kind of gave myself the nickname. Tommy, you said you take quarterback late rounds 11. I honestly, the last 2 years, I got Josh Allen last year 11th, got laughed at. 2 years ago, I took Lamar in the 15th as MVP year, got laughed at. I usually find these guys. So, yeah, if I can find someone this year in the last 13, 14, 15th round, I'd walk away with steal. That's something I do. But Dak, like Ryan, you said, if my team went perfect and I would even push it, I wouldn't take him in the 5th. But if I can push him to the 6th, he's a guy, if he's available to me in the 5th, I'm going to roll the dice. Because I'm a late round pick in the 1st round. I'm going to say, I got 6 picks to my 6th round pick. If he gets there, I'll take him. If he doesn't, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'll roll the dice on him. But if he gets past where he's actually at ADP, my team's looking well, and I have 3 established running backs, 2 established wide receivers or 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, or 2, and 1 tight end, he can complete my roster. I'll take him at the 6th round. I don't think I'd take him at 5.
All right, Mike, putting you on the spot here. You just said, you always get these late round quarterback steals. Who's the guy you're targeting this year? You got to share it to our audience. You can't keep that.
I have
Keep
2.
it all inside.
That's fine.
Let's
I got
hear
2.
it.
That's why we're here. Tom Brady's 1. Obviously, he's people don't really like him because of the rushing upside in fantasy. You want that, but Brady has the easiest schedule this year and year 2 of Bruce Arians' offense. Bruce Arians' offense is very hard to pick up year 1, as we saw that James Winston threw 50 interceptions, almost 50 touchdowns pretty much. He was crazy that year. But this is year 2 of Brady. Brady picked up on it really quick, and from week 9 after their bye week, week 13 after their bye week, to week 23 in the Super Bowl, whatever the hell that is, they literally went on a tear. Brady was the best quarterback and showed why he is the GOAT. He's the guy I'm looking at. A second guy I'm looking at here. I really like Joe Burrow this year.
I thought we were going Chicago. I thought we were going Justin Fields.
No, I like Joe Burrow, and it's because of the weapons and how I love his mindset. He's a fighter. He's a proven. He doesn't quit. He's gonna come in that team. He's got 3 weapons. He played great last year when he played for the first 7 games before he got hurt. I think this team now adds a weapon he loves that he won a title with and had his best college year ever in college history with Jamar Chase now on his team. This kid's got everything built around him to be great. The O-line is a little shaky still, which is a problem. That's what everybody's saying. But I think if he somehow can get the ball out of his hands in the first 3 seconds, he's going to be dangerous and someone that I would look at. And for the hell of it, I'll give you one more. And this is because he's a rookie. I'm not going to put him on the top 2, but I like Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence has the tools, everything for fantasy-wise to run, throw the ball, be effective. But the reason I'm out on him is because it is the Jaguars at the end of the day. They won 1 game last year. I know he is a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes first time in the NFL, but don't be surprised. He can run with his legs. He has ETN with him. They know how to play in the backfield. DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault look good. I like the young guys, but Tom Brady is the older buck that he's the main guy I'm looking at.
All right. I got one too. And I'm staying in the NFC East here, and Tommy, your Eagles and Jalen Hurts. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember a couple months ago, he was like 5th, 6th round pick. Like everyone was super hyped about him, and then obviously it's cooled off because they suck. But dude, if he's sitting there in those later rounds, hell yeah, I'm taking him. So that's my.
Are you at all scared of Watson going to Philly?
When that happens, I'll play it by like that. Just like I told you guys about Aaron Rodgers, I said rank as if he's playing. You didn't believe me.
My thing with Hurts is we had a small sample size last year with him. 4 games, 3 games where he ran a lot and looked good. That's what you want in fantasy. But just I like him I like his mindset too. I think a player that a lot of people compare him to is who he lost a job to at Alabama, Tua. I like him more than Tua, so I'll give him that. I just don't really. I think there's other options you can find in fantasy at quarterback than Hurts. And if Hurts is relevant, it's going to be because of his legs and not because of his arm.
And that's all I care about.
Yeah, where the guys I listed, I have the throwing ability, and I think they can. Like Joe Burrow, sneaky with his legs. His first touchdown in the NFL was with his legs last year. So don't let he's kind of like a Ryan Tannehill. You don't think Ryan Tannehill can run, but bootlegs, you think it's going to. He's got the Henry benefactor, but bootlegs, Ryan Tannehill can kind of take off there. Where Hurts people know his speed. I think Trevor Lawrence is the other one, sneaky athletic with his legs. That's why I like him too. So
sneaky fast. All these guys sneaky quick, hard workers, man.
Brady's
unbelievable.
Brady's just
Munch Bell, guys.
Much.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get back to these Cowboys.
Well, we're done with the Cowboys. I think we're.
You want to talk about Ben DiNucci?
No, we're not talking about Ben DiNucci. We're not even going to talk about Mike McCarthy. We talked about the O-line with everybody.
If anything, we could talk about Kellen Moore, and that he's
I think
a pace offense right here. That's what he's got.
If anything, we could touch on the tight ends, Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz, but I
doubt we really
my
boy. Yes.
If you're drafting either of them, you're in trouble. That's all I'll say.
This is what I'm going to say. Keep an eye on who wins that position battle in training camp and preseason, and whoever wins, take a late round dart throw. Because, like you said, Tom, you're all in on this offense. One of the tight ends is going to have to catch passes. Dude.
Come on, those guys, they don't belong on a fantasy roster.
You remember the hype last year from Blake Jarwin, bro?
Sure, and how'd he do?
He got hurt.
How'd he do? That's fucked up.
He got
But-
hurt. That's how he did.
but-
Damn.
I don't want tight end in this offense.
You heard from me.
Take
Fourth,
tight end and throw it in the trash.
if fourth option on the team is the tight end, I'd look elsewhere for tight ends. You're better off with Johnny or Hunter Henry.
I think he's the third option because Zeke's gonna shit the bed this year. Hot take.
All right, roll back the footage for when Ryan was all in on Zeke. All right, guys.
Sorry.
You're
All
good.
right, Godspeed.
I think that's it. We touched on the Cowboys. It was awesome. Tommy, welcome aboard one more time. We are done here, ladies and gentlemen. As always, the saying, peace and love from me. Until we see you in the next time, I'm out of here, guys.
God bless. Subscribe, like, follow our social media.
Oh my God, I forgot all about them. What am I
It's
doing?
okay. They get the point. We got it. Link in bio. Link in bio.
Link in bio. They're on the screen. You can do it now.
Thank you for listening to the Two Dudes, One Ball Fantasy Football Podcast. Please like, subscribe, and comment below.